Check, check, 1 2 1 2. This is the audio, by the way. Keep listening. The last video I uploaded on here was sort of about the Jews, and they're sort of tied up in this also, because my community complains about them taking over. I talk about the takeover from a voting standpoint and them sticking together, but this one is more so involved with money. Other regions of the country worry about immigrants or illegal immigrants taking over the country, but my area is worried about the Jews. And while they worry about them taking over, they are assisting in the takeover. I hear them say the Jews are buying everything, but who is selling? They are. The Jews offer a huge lump sum, and they get Google Gaga over the check. You can't sit there complaining about, oh, they're buying everything, they're taking the houses, they're doing all this stuff, they're building all these building complexes that are for them and excluding everybody out. But you can't, you really can't complain. Meanwhile, you're the one that's sitting there selling, right? If you really want to keep your community, you really want to stay in your community, you don't want nobody taking over, then you would not be selling the place that you live at. By you giving up your home, your business, what are you doing? You assisting in yourself being not wanted in that community, right? I was driving with these old heads, and they were talking about that, and one of them said he was mad at the fact that the Jews are buying all the housings and all that. And the other one asked him, like, all right, you're mad about it, but if one of them give you 100,000 for the place you live at, what would you do? And he said, fuck, I would sell it to him. And then I'm like, then why are you mad? You're sitting there saying you mad that they're taking over the place, blah blah blah. There's nothing here for you. So, isn't it people with your mentality that led them or caused them to take over? Because they throw a certain amount of money at you, and you'll let them do whatever they want, and then you sitting there saying why they're taking over, or these people are this, these people are that. But by you giving up the house you live at because you see a lot of money, you see more money than you spent on it, you give it to them. You're allowing them to live there. You're allowing them to move in and take over the place. And that's one of the things, like, I feel like the Jewish community realize. They realize that us people living here, Americans, we we value money more than anything, right? You'll hear people sit there and say, it's nothing personal, it's just business. Business should be the background of everything. Business should take a background role in every relationship or whatever, but we put money above everything. And then when the money takes over, we give things up chasing the money. We give up a lot of things that are of value. How many relationships people get married and then they get divorced? How many of them are because of money? Right? Majority of divorces are because of financial issues. Right? A lot of divorces take forever because of financial issues. Because just cause your name is on the title of something, your name is on the deed of something, that doesn't mean they all belong to you. If you purchase all those things after you got married, your wife or your husband deserves half of it, right? And a lot of people don't understand that. But you have a lot of financial issues that tend to end relationships. The husband works too much; they barely see the wife, and the wife, they want somebody to cuddle with. They want all that attention, all that affection, but the job is in the way of that happening, right? So back to this, if you really value your home, you value your community, you wouldn't be sitting there selling it. And then when they're buying the next door, the next door, the next door, you sit there like, oh my God, these people are taking over. They have to be stopped. Meanwhile, when they come to your door, you're like, shit, give me that check. You could take it, take it. And then what are you left with? You left with $100,000, and then you have to go move somewhere. You have to go find a place to live. What if with $100,000 you go somewhere and none of the places you could get are worth 100,000? Like you have to start over again. A home is the most important thing, and that's one of the things they say that's wrong with the black community. We don't own shit, right? Now that person that bought the house, because a home is something that everybody will always need. You always need a roof over your head, right? You always need a roof over your head. So now when you sit there, you give up the house for some money. What is the money gonna do for you? Like people don't understand money. Money is supposed to be a tool, but they treat money like it's everything in the like. People just don't get it. Because after a while, that $100,000 they just gave you, it's gonna be nothing. It's gonna be gone. It's gonna disappear. Yeah, you could probably go get you another place to live, but you didn't think of all that before you took that money and gave up your home. And the Jews, they kind of see the diamond in the rough, right? My mother knows this guy who sold his house, right? He sold his house. He took the money. He dipped, right? Because he saw all that money. He was like, yo, I can't pass up on that. He took the money. He moved. He moved where everybody always moves at, down south. Now, when you move down south, you have to start up a new life, right? You have to start a new life. You have to find you a job, and then when you get that place, you have to be able to work to maintain that place. Now, he sold the house. In less than a month, they already destroyed the house. They knocked down the house completely and started up a huge complex. And I remember driving in front of the place, and my mother was like, yo, if this guy knew that they were buying the house to freaking destroy it, I think he would have a heart attack. Right? Meanwhile, in his head, he's thinking like, yo, this dirty house, this house that has all these problems, these people are willing to pay all that money for it? Like, I can't pass up on that. Sure, take it. Right? He probably thought he was fooling somebody. He was that was like the best deal he'll ever make. Right? He was pulling one on them. Meanwhile, they didn't care about the house. They just wanted the land. But he thought they was paying for the house. So he took the money they gave him. Meanwhile, they didn't give a damn about the house. They was just gonna knock the shit down anyways and build up something brand new from ground up. And it's like that's the thing they get. Like they get the whole diamond in the rough. They get the idea of what's really important. You knock down the little house, you build a huge complex and all that. You're straight, and you be good. But it's like nobody gets that, and then later on they want to sit there complaining about stuff. You can't sit there complaining about stuff, and you're the one that's assisting in the. You're basically assisting in your own destruction, which is weird. Like, don't sit there complaining about them taking over, them doing all this. Meanwhile, when they say, "Hey, I'll give you money," you're like, "Hey, yes, go ahead, take it." It's like, what? Like, I'm waiting for somebody. I'm waiting for someone. You tell them, yo, I will kill you. They'll be like, no, you will not kill me. That's a threat. Blah blah blah. Call the cops. I'll kill you first, right? I bet you if you tell them, yo, I'll give you $1 billion, right? There's gonna be a bunch of dumb fucks, right? That's gonna be like, oh hell yeah, I'm rich. At least I'll be rich. It's like, did you understand what I said? I'll give you $1 billion to kill you. What is like? I don't think people like, and I swear there will be somebody that agrees to that, right? You have other things where you'll call somebody gay and they'll be like, whoa whoa, who the hell you talking to? They get offended because you say that, and then you tell them, yo, for $100,000, will you suck a dick? They'd be like, what? No, I'm not gay. And then you tell them, yo, I'll give you $1 million. I'll give you $1 million to suck a dick, and they'll agree to that. It's like, what is the? Nobody has like standard, that value, that nobody. Oh my goodness, shit is so annoying to talk about sometimes because it's weird. Like, people. That's why they say people have. Everybody has a price, right? I remember there was a YouTube video. Homie came up on this guy who was like homeless, and told him like $1,000 if he wants to suck his dick or have sex with him. At first he was like, I'm not gay, get out of here with your gay stuff. And then he mentioned $1,000 cash, and he was like, yeah, let's go back here, keep it quiet. You sure you're gonna give me the 1,000? It's like, what? $1,000. So really, all you have to do is put people in a certain situation, and you'll be able to control them with money, right? You offer somebody $100,000. If they have money, they're gonna say no, because $100,000 is nothing to them. But if you do something to them where they end up losing everything they have, right? Now $10,000 might be a lot to them now. Now they will do something for that money. You know what I mean? But if everybody's broke, you could have them do anything you want for that money, and then later on they'll realize that, yo, that money wasn't worth it. Imagine people paying you in oxygen for something. You're gonna be like, you breathe, and then the oxygen is gone, and you realize, wait, why the hell did I give up this thing that was of value for this? You give up your home, you give up your business for a bigger amount of money. Meanwhile, you're gonna blow through that money like it's nothing, and then you realize, like, what? I'm left empty-handed. I don't have anything. But I have no problem. Like the previous video I said, I have no problem with the Jews. They do. I admire what they do. I admire a lot of things in a lot of different cultures. And that's one of the things I admire, but I just get tired of stupid people, like, not realizing what's really happening, and then they sit there complaining and just running their mouth, but they're not doing anything, right? Don't sit there complaining about stuff being done, meanwhile you're assisting in the thing being done, right? So in this area, they say they're taking over. Yeah, they're buying everything because you guys are taking the money. You guys see the money and you guys be like, hey, take whatever you want. And then later on, you're like, wait, I wanted that? Like, what? Doesn't make any sense. And, hey, they take over, then they keep their business to themselves. They help their own community out, and they kick you out because you allowed it. You took the money. Like, what are you bitching about now? Right? But that's it. Check my other videos out, by the way. I got a bunch of shit on here. I need them views.